Shocking news is coming out of the 2016 presidential race as Rand Paul is dropping out right now. Many people question, was he broke? Did he make a deal? Was he threatened? We're going to go over all those possibilities in this video, but obviously Rand Paul dropping out leaves a lot of questions. He did have a strong showing inside of Iowa. He did finish over Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorina, John Kasich, Mike Huckabee, Chris Christie, Rick Santorum, and some guy no one knows about. He was heading into New Hampshire, the live free or die state, a very strong libertarian stronghold that his father, Ron Paul, had a very strong presence in 2008 and 2012. He would have got a lot of support in the upcoming New Hampshire primaries, so why is he dropping out right now when he had a good showing inside of Iowa? Many people wonder, was he broke? Did he run out of money? Well, if you look at the numbers, Rand Paul was able to raise $4.6 million just in the second half of last year alone, not including the other half of last year, not including this year. So I do not believe money was an issue in any way, shape, or form. Many people are wondering, did he broker a deal with Ted Cruz? As we know, Ted Cruz right now is the front runner. He finished #1 inside of Iowa, and previously before, Ron Paul and Rand Paul both endorsed Ted Cruz in his 2012 Senate race. Cruz has also been picking up a lot of Rand Paul and Ron Paul supporters for his campaign and picking them off during the election. We know these two candidates, these two senators are also close friends, which makes you wonder, with Ted Cruz now leading in the polls, being the #1 front runner, did Ron Paul capitulate so all the libertarian voters inside of New Hampshire would go to him, giving him a significant advantage over Trump, over Marco Rubio? And I do believe that they possibly could have been a deal for a cabinet or a VP position with Ted Cruz. Even though there is no direct evidence pointing to this, it would make sense for Rand Paul to make this deal. Many people inside the Rand Paul campaign are saying that this is just all a vision for 2020, that Rand Paul is doing this to set up the base and he's going to run again in 2020 and we're going to regalvanize and restart everything and going to win in 2020. Well, having my sources inside of Ron Paul's and Rand Paul's campaign staff, I heard very similar talk in 2008 when Ron Paul gave up. He said, we're doing this for 2012. When Ron Paul gave up in 2012, he said he was doing this for Rand Paul in 2016. And now we are seeing very similar talk from Rand Paul saying we're doing this for 2020, obviously pulling at the straws, trying to keep all of his supporters, trying to keep all of the money, trying to keep the momentum in his campaign running. So, similar talk throughout the years. I do not believe that this is the case. Many people believe Rand Paul was threatened. I don't believe that was the case in any way, shape, or form, because we've seen the Paul camp go from revolution to Republican in 2012 when Ron Paul was dropping out, which to me made no sense because we have been seeing the trends throughout the years go against the establishment. We're seeing this trend unfold right now with people like Trump, Bernie Sanders, Cruz, Rubio having a significant impact, being not only first-time politicians, but also being from the outside, not capitulating to the Republican, not to the mainstream side. We're seeing mainline Republican politicians lose heavily. This is the year of the outsider, which makes me question. Rand Paul used to be a very strong-lined outsider. We interviewed him when he was first a senator, and he came out strongly against controversial topics like the Bilderberg Group. He came out strongly against major establishment banks like Goldman Sachs in this interview that you could watch by going in the description of this video. And then in 2012, when his father was still running, he decided to endorse Mitt Romney, Mr. Bilderberg, Mr. Goldman Sachs, obviously flip-flopping on his major position against the establishment, supporting Mitt Romney when his father, Ron Paul, was still running, still doing money bombs, still collecting money from his supporters. Obviously, everyone was shocked, so we confronted Rand Paul. We talked to him on a very long, awkward walk in Washington, D.C., where he decided to stay silent and quiet and not say anything about the real reason why he endorsed Mitt Romney. Obviously, we've seen Rand Paul capitulate and flip-flop many times. He decided in this presidential run that he was going to be for increasing the military budget, for bombing the Middle East, more aid towards Israel. He started quoting Henry Kissinger in his speeches and colluding with people like Karl Rove and John P. Bush. all major flip-flops, all capitulations to the mainstream Republican line, which is losing in this election, which we have been calling out for a very long time. We talked to his campaign head and we asked him, why did Rand Paul also flip-flop on GMOs after meeting with Bill Gates? Why does Rand Paul believe Edward Snowden should be in jail when Rand Paul is using the positions of Edward Snowden leaks as his major campaign? Why? And of course, we got no answers, and his campaign head also remained silent and just walked away from us, obviously just embarrassing him even more. We interviewed Ralph Nader and we asked him what are his comments on Hillary Clinton and Rand Paul in 2016. And Ralph Nader even himself said Rand Paul needs to start being like Ron Paul if he's going to have any significance in this race. So I do not believe Rand Paul was threatened in any way, shape, or form. I do believe he was capitulating to the Republicans, to the main line, and obviously this is what led to his downfall. Why do you think Rand Paul quit in 2016? Let us know in the comment section below. Was it because he was broke? Did he make a deal with Cruz? Was there some other move made here for 2020? What do you think is the real reason? Let us know in the comment section below. Yet again, thank you again so much for watching Real Independent Media. Don't forget to support us. We are funded by you, and we are creating this news for you. Don't forget, we also have a very important boot camp coming up in Mexico, coming up on February 19th to the 21st, where myself, Adam Kokesh, Dan Dix, and Jeff Berwick will be teaching you all of our secrets of the trade in a boot camp. Find out more information in the description below. Yet again, thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Real Independent Media, youtube.com/We Are Change.